We are almost done. Only two short moves remain. Okay, so our next step is to go from the supply curve of an individual firm to the market supply curve. And here we will distinguish between short run and long run again, because the decisions of the firms are different, and so the aggregation in terms of the market will be also different. And also there will be an additional distinction between short run and long run, which makes sense to have on the industry level. Namely, in the industry we will say that in the short run the new firms cannot enter and the old firms cannot exit, while in the long run entry and exit are free. So let us start with the short run. In this case the number of firms is fixed, so that's the idea of this short run. In particular, the existing firms can or may shut down, but they will never exit, because that's a short run. No new firm enter. How then the market supply curve would look like? Here is an example. On the left picture shows individual firm supply. So this firm offers at price 1 100 of some units, and at price 2 its quantity is 200, because that's its marginal cost curve. We know that marginal cost curve of the firm, that's a supply of this firm. When you look in the industry, and let's suppose that in this industry there are 1,000 firms, for the same price 1, what would be the market supply? Well, it's 100 times 1,000, that is 100,000. Each firm produces 100, all of them are identical. We have 100,000 output in the market. Price 2, it would be 200,000. So the supply curve, now this is the market supply curve as opposed to the firm supply curve. Market supply curve looks similar to the firm supply curve. However, bear in mind that these quantity are shown in 100,000s. So if you would draw that on the same plot, you would see that the market supply curve is much flatter than firm supply curve, and that makes sense, of course. Now let us go to the long run. In the case of long run for an industry, an important distinction and a new thing is that now firms can freely exit and enter the market. So how can we think about this long run? How can we think about the decisions of firms? It's actually simple. The idea is that if in the market there are potential profits, if the firms which are already in the market earn some profit, the new firms, potential entrepreneurs, will see that there is a profit in this market and will decide to create a firm and then enter. Otherwise, they will not enter. So if the actual profits of the firms in the market are negative, nobody will enter, of course, but the existing firm will exit. So there will be this entry and exit of firms in any situation except one, and this one we are going to describe. We are going to describe the situation which is called as long run equilibrium. So the equilibrium situation when no firm is exiting or entering the market. But remember, what is the decision? The decision would be to exit if price is less than average total cost that we derived last time. The decision would be to enter if price is bigger than average total cost, because that's exactly the condition for positive profit of the incumbent firm. So on the other hand, if price is less than average total cost, firm starts to exit, and therefore supply would be smaller, and that would drive price down. And otherwise, it would drive price up. And otherwise, in this case, you would have a new firms which are entering the market, and it would drive price down. So that suggests that what will happen in the long run, what will be this actual equilibrium outcome, is the situation when neither first nor the second condition is satisfied. That is the condition situation under which price is exactly equal to the average total cost. Okay, so in the long run, this process of entry and exit would end only when price is equal to average total cost, and that is called equilibrium. When we depict this situation, we would have this picture for the individual firm, marginal cost, price, And this price now, of course, the firm is producing in the intersection, and this price should be such that average total cost exactly passes through this point. But that means that this is exactly minimum of average total cost. That is the efficient scale production. By the way, notice that it means that this firm, the firm which exists in the market, earns zero profit. That may sound strange. How it's possible that the firms earn zero profit? Doesn't it mean that people do not get wages? No, of course that's not true, because remember, economic profit includes all possible costs, including so it accounts for all possible costs, including the wages of the workers, if you are owner, your alternative opportunity cost, and so on. So zero profit doesn't mean that people have zero money. Zero profit means that the firm earns zero economic profit. It means that for the owner of the firm, it's exactly the best decision. It cannot find anything better outside, and so it stays on the market. It doesn't lose the money, it doesn't close the firm, but it stays in the market. Okay, so that's the individual firm situation here. From the point of view of the market, that would mean that in the long run, price is basically predetermined, because the minimum of average total cost, that is the cost structure of all the firms, would tell you this is the price. It cannot be that the price is bigger, it cannot be that the price is smaller. It can be that everybody is operating in the efficient scale, and for this price, supply this quantity. And since potentially the amount of firms might be, unlimited, it means that also the quantity might be unlimited, and the supply might be unlimited in the long run. So now we see that there is a difference between short run and the long run. This is the supply of the industry in the short run, this upward sloping, and this is, in the right panel here, is the supply of the industry in the long run, and that is perfectly elastic supply. To illustrate this process of keeping this long run, let us go through the following diagram. The diagram on the left shows you the market, the diagram on the right shows you the corresponding firm. So suppose that market begins in the long run equilibrium, which means that no firm has positive or negative profit, every firm has zero profit. The demand and supply should be intersecting at the price, and so this price exactly corresponds to the price of production of the firm with zero profit. Okay, so you start with demand and supply in the market. This supply is short run supply, and also you have the long run supply. This long run supply comes out of the individual firm. Okay, the firm looks like this. This is the price, intersects marginal cost, and also operates in the efficient scale, earns zero profit. Let's suppose that for some reason there happened to be an increase in the demand. So sudden shock, positive shock we call it, increases the demand. So the demand curve shifts from the blue to the red, and therefore the short run equilibrium should have to be shifting from A to B. That makes sense. In the short run, the price is going up, because in the short run, both individual firms and the industry has an increasing upward sloping supply. So price increases, the quantity supplied in the market increases, and those firms which were in the market, they are now producing higher amount than before. And notice also that by moving from P1 to the new price P2, they are able to get positive profits. So this rectangle as usually shows us the profits of those firms. But we know that in the short run the profits are possible, but in the long run they are not, because in the long run having these profits in the market means that the market would attract new firms would enter the market. Entry of the new firm would lead to the increase of supply. So what now happens is that this supply curve shifts to the right, and by shifting this supply curve to the right, price would go down, and again it would stabilize only when it would again reach the efficient scale. And so this would restore long run equilibrium. We would have more firms now in the industry because there is more demand, and so more firms are needed to satisfy this demand, but each of the firms still produces at the efficient level of output and still gets zero profit in the long run.